9 tips to prevent a soggy pie crust. Hey there, folks. Welcome back to our channel. Today, I've got some golden tips to ensure your pie crust stays crisp and delicious without a soggy bottom in sight. Nobody wants a soggy pie, right? So let's roll up our sleeves and get started with 9 tips to prevent a soggy pie crust. 1. Blind baking your pie crust. Whether you're making a no-bake pie or a custard pie, this step is crucial. You want your crust to set up before adding that delicious filling. To blind bake, chill your crust first, then line it with foil or parchment paper. But here's the trick. Completely fill it with pie weights, dried beans, or uncooked rice to keep those sides in place. This ensures an even bake and no shrinkage. Your crust will thank you. 2. Brush crusts with an egg white or corn syrup. Say goodbye to soggy crusts by brushing the bottom crust with an egg white using a silicone pastry brush. This creates a barrier between your filling and the crust. If you have an egg allergy in the family, don't worry. You can use corn syrup instead. And here's a pro tip. Don't leave your unbaked pie in the fridge for too long. You want to prevent that filling from making your dough soggy. 3. Use the right pie plate. While ceramic plates are pretty, they won't give you that golden brown, crispy crust you're after. I highly recommend a metal or cast iron pie pan for the best heat conduction. You can use a glass pie plate if you like seeing the bottom crust, but be prepared to leave it in the oven a bit longer to achieve that perfect brown. 4. Bake on a lower rack. Now, tip number 4 might surprise you. Normally, we aim for the center of the oven, but pies are the rebels of the baking world. To get that crust browned, place your pie closer to the bottom rack, the lower third of your oven. 5. Use a cookie sheet. Tip number 5 involves a handy trick, using a cookie sheet. Preheat your oven with a baking sheet inside to catch any drips from your bubbling fruit filling. Then, when you're ready to bake your pie, place it directly onto the heated baking sheet. 6. Use dried breadcrumbs. Sprinkle them on the bottom of your crust to absorb excess moisture from the filling, creating a protective barrier. Your guests won't even notice. 7. Brush with chocolate. Okay, tip number 7 might not work for every pie, but if you can, blind bake your crust, let it cool completely, and then brush on some melted chocolate. A hidden layer of chocolate? Yes, please. 8. Strain your filling. Toss your fruit with sugar and let it sit. The sugar will draw out excess moisture. Afterward, strain out the liquid. You can discard it or boil it down into a delicious syrup to pour over your fruit. 9. Vent the crust. Last but not least, vent the crust. Whether you're creating a beautiful lattice pie crust or just making a few slits in the top crust, these vents help release steam from your filling as it cooks. If steam doesn't have an escape route, it could make your crust soggy. And there you have it, folks. 9 tips to prevent a soggy pie crust. With these tricks up your sleeve, you'll be on your way to baking pies with perfectly crispy golden brown crusts every time. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more baking tips and delicious recipes.